community of people who want to change the world, but before this, they want to change themselves. And we understand that we can make a network about 7 or 10 points of such places like Melnica space, and we like this idea for next 10 or 15 years.
Christine here with another fun episode of the weekly Co-Living Code show. I'm your host. I am also the founder of Kindred, which is a global directory and booking platform for the co-living industry. And first wanted to, of course, give a quick thank you to our sponsor of the show. We actually had them on last week, so you can check out that interview. It is ISL Furnishings, and they are a brand created through Inner Space Living, and they're all about creating exciting spaces where design meets function. Innerspace parlayed its success in commercial grade unit furniture and conceived this elevated offering for co-living spaces. They believe strongly in the industry and already work with some of the larger companies like Quarters and Star City. And they were founded with the mission to bring your brand to life. Their goal is to revolutionize the unit furniture experience. Driven by creativity, ISL Furnishings believes that interiors should inspire brilliance. Every venue has its own voice. They exist to clarify that voice, interpret your brand vision, and deliver quality on time every time. Okay, so this week we bring on Sergey. He is in Russia. He is the founder of Melnica Space in Russia. This is the first time we brought somebody on from Russia. And they're actually out in a rural area about an hour and a half out of Moscow, kind of in the middle of nowhere. So we talk about that. Really, really cool concept. I love what they're up to. So I'll go ahead and read his bio and we will launch into this week's episode. 3 years ago, Sergey and Olga left corporate jobs in PR and moved from Moscow to a rural area. They found an abandoned Soviet farm, transformed it into co-living inside an old mill building, and called it Melnica Space. They became the first Russian rural co-living and center of cultural life in the Tula region. And today they are proud members of HAFH, Slow Food, Travel Massive, and they are Russian ambassadors of Co-Association, building international networks of co-living for startups and corporate teams. Okay, so let's launch right into our interview. Okay, so this week we are bringing on Sergey. He is actually out in Russia with Melita Space. Hello, welcome to the show this week.
Thank you. I'm very excited to be here with you.
Awesome. So I would love for you to start with how you guys got started, the history, and what you guys are building out there.
Okay, I'm very grateful for be here because you're such an icon for all of us who are making co-livings, and dozens of our friends, they heard that we have an interview with you. They told, "Oh wow, is here she's go, and you should ask her about everything." And I said, "No, she will ask me." And they say, "Okay, okay." So.
Nice. Yeah, no, and again, I mean, you guys are building, you left Moscow, which I'm sure you're going to explain, and you guys went out to this rural area to build this amazing community. And how long have you guys been around for again?
3 years that we left Moscow, we left our corporate job and we began this project, this journey. We tried to understand what we want to do in our life. We were successful in corporate, but we wanted something our special, and we found an old abandoned Soviet farm. It was used for 2 or 3 years as a place for architectural festivals, and it become not only looking post-apocalyptical as it was abandoned, but it became creative because there was some graffitis, some art projects, and so on. But it was abandoned too again because in Russia they're very difficult to bring to build a creative community without sponsors. So we don't have so much audience for such projects. So we came here and we understand that we want this place to live. We want to share this wonderful landscape, post-apocalyptic but creative, with our friends. And we moved from Moscow with our children and with our team. And now in Melnica there live six people, and two kids, two cats, and one dog. We live in a building that it's ex-mill. There was a mill inside, but we rebuilt it. And we understood during this work, we understood that revalorization of spaces, it's a new word for me, but it's very interesting and very important, because in Russia we have about 70 thousands of places like this. Their industry or agro farm, and they left and abandoned, but they have a huge potential to be a center of community, of farmers, of entrepreneurs, of enthusiasts, and so on, and change makers. And we started hotel, first of all, because we wanted to understand how we can deal with people who are coming every day for 2 or 3 days, and after 2 or 3 months we work at the hotel, we understood that people want to be here for a very long time, for weeks and for months, because they love this place, because they love this atmosphere, this nature. And we asked them, what do you want to do here? Why you are here? Why don't you want to go in another place? And they said, because if you want some personal transformation, you need how in song of Radiohead, you need to disappear completely, and after that you need to find yourself in another projection. And this place where you lived, like outside, there's no real world, only you, only nature, and only old buildings. In this place you feel like a new person, and that's why people come for us, and that's why we wanted and started Coliving, because it became not only place for business, but first of all it was a place for personal and team transformation. And now on our territory, it's about 600 hectares. We plan to make a cluster of co-livings. We are starting to build to reconstruct other buildings that left from farm, and to make this cluster of co-livings with the basis for business and for education, because we work all our life with educational and business and financial projects, and it's very close for us, it's very understandable. And we work mostly with teams that come to us for team transformation. It's maybe corporate teams that want to grow outside the corporate mothership, but don't lose the connection, or startups that need to understand how will they live in very different landscape, different atmosphere, and different connections between them outside the city. We started it before pandemic, before COVID, but we understood that our experiment was very useful for those who try to understand what we should do when we are staying in a city and we are dying in the city. And we said, hello, we know the key, we know how to do this. And we're happy now that there are so many projects around the world that trying to do such things as we are, rural co-livings that are trying to bring those things, people together, locals and relocators, nature and business, and everything of this is a great opportunity to grow new, maybe not new cities, but new settlements, I think, at all. So this is in short.
No, in settlements. So I know you heard, I made notes while you were talking because I have so many questions. The change makers, like, how did you come up with that? I love, love, love that term.
We tried to find change makers with locals who live for dozens of years in this place, but we understood that the real change makers are those who relocated in past 5 or 10 years from the cities, that wanted to, as us, wanted to make something new for their children, a new future for this place, for this territory. And these people are full of energy and of business experience, and they are change makers. And when we united into community, we became do interesting things, educational conferences, festivals, and even we brought an exhibition of Dali and Picasso, real works of real masterpieces to our fucking middle of nowhere. I'm sorry, but it's true. And we did very interesting things. There was experts from NASA that came to us to work with our children because our children were in love with the space, and we made a space and astronomic workshops and so on, many. And when people understood that this place for crazy and creative like us, they become advising our offering us some interesting projects. And now we do some things and teach people how to make Coliving as a center of culture and business life for five cities in Russia, and now we work with consulting for Argentina.
So you brushed over the NASA part. NASA came out to like teach or help the kids learn about space.
Not only our kids, but kids of our community, of our friends around us. It's about 400 people that we met and that we started to work during our live here, because our first idea was that we can connect with each other, farmers, local farmers. They are relocators too. It's people who 5-10 years moved from the city and thought, oh, I will do my cheese, or I will do my own milk, organic, eco, but they didn't understood how to buy it for the city. And we came to the international community called Slow Food. We became ambassadors, and we connect farmers to help them uh, to work with each other, and local businessmen, entrepreneurs, and some small shops from the Moscow, and help them to sell more.
Um, so Sergey, explain how far out are you guys from a major city? Is it Moscow? Is Moscow the closest city?
Yeah, the closest city is Moscow. We are between Moscow and Tula, the next regional city. It's about 100 kilometers and about hour and half from Moscow by train or by car. We have a very good road, and a suburban electrical train is very near, so it's a very good place for fast going to visit us.
And do you guys have any photos of like that your original building when it was all abandoned? Do you guys have photos of that before you moved in?
Do you want me to show this in a demonstration?
Not show it, but send me the photo after our interview, and we're gonna put it at the beginning. I'm just
Yes.
super curious myself. I'm sure people are too, so that would be amazing. Because tell me more. You said there's all these abandoned buildings. There used to be factories. There used to be different things there in Russia. How do you connect with the owner? How do you purchase the building? What's that process like?
The owner is interesting man. He's a businessman, but he's romantic because he want to grow to build new cities. He love an urbanism, new urbanism, an idea of gentrification. And 10 or 15 years ago, he wanted to make on this place a city of future. But investors were currently are ready for such projects. And now we know that there is a regen villages and other interesting projects that are coming for life. But 15 years ago, it was too fresh. He was waiting for people like us to bring new life in this place. Uh, During 2 or 3 years, he worked with architectural guys from Moscow. One of them was Ivanov Chinnikov. It's very bright and fresh guy who made international architecture and design festivals here, and it brought and you cover for our place not only old bricks but creative style, and it's very important, I think, for such places. And our owner of this place is our partner of this place, and we in partnership build these new clusters right now.
And so he's still the actual like landlord of the building. He still owns the building and you guys are
Yes.
renting from him. Okay, cool.
We are in we began from renting, but now we are partner in our new business.
Awesome, cool. And I think that that's becoming more and more popular is taking these, whether it's a building that needs help or an actual block of a city. We're actually going to have these guys on soon coming up where they did that in South Africa. They took a whole block that was horrible, dangerous, horrible area. And then they revitalized the whole thing. So they put, places to live and coffee shops and all this really, really cool stuff. They won awards from it. So I think we're going to see more and more of that happening around the world, which is awesome to hear. And because of we're running out of space, obviously. So why not fix the buildings that are already existing? I think that's a lot easier. So talk about more the age. So you talked about the ages, in your community, and you guys have kids there, and you guys have animals. So I would love to hear because I know maybe 95% of co-living communities don't have any dogs. But we do in our home and we love it and it works really well, but that's pretty rare. So talk about just this combination of having all these different ages and kids and animals in your community.
I began from the story that we are a place for transformation. And if you want to make a co-living, you should be prepared for different people with different meanings and things and thoughts, and with cats and so on. And as many co-livings, we have some entering card for not for everybody, because we want to understand that people who come to us will be happy, and will be happy with them too. But it doesn't mean that we don't can't be with dogs or even maybe pigs on somebody. I call somebody because even a dog and cat is a person, and it's some kind of projection of our thoughts and our human being. So for us, it's very important to live with children and to live with animals. It helps us.
Do you guys and you have your own kids there too?
Yes.
Oh, no. What are their ages?
It's 11 and 14. Oh, 14. 11, 14. Yes.
Oh, they must love it. And they love living in that community, I bet, right?
Yes, they're very creative. Our daughter 2 months ago cut her hair and become a punk, and I like it very much.
That's adorable. And so and I know you talked earlier because it's great they get exposed to all different types of people and cultures and you talked earlier about kind of having it more like a hotel short stay, but then you guys realized to build community they needed to stay
Yeah.
longer. So like is there a minimum stay now?
We ask for staying for 3 months. It's our standard, but people oftenly want to be more. So 3 months is the shortest time.
So everybody listening to this interview, that is like the golden number that I've talked about before. I think that 90 days, 3 months, like you'll for sure, that's the perfect amount of time to really get the person integrated into the community where they have that sense of belonging. I think that's like the magic number is that 3 month minimum. So that's
I think
great.
it's about our psychology. It's everybody who needs this time to change in mind something.
Yeah, no, definitely. And then do you guys host any events? Like, do you guys, I know with COVID, and we're going to talk about COVID for sure. When you guys hosted events pre-COVID, did you guys have, the local community come in?
Yes, we made very many, even every week events before COVID. In COVID we made, yes, as you said, only local events with locals that we understand that are safe for each other. And now we began to make events again, but because we make more consulting as before, not often, not every week, but every month event. And the last was, we called it a soulful landscape, because we found people around the world that are thinking about how to make the landscape soulful and
Mm.
full of humanity. And for 3 days, we talked with hundreds of people around the world, and it was amazing. And we like such events. And after that, we are making a product for our community that called landscape meditations. It's about how to find yourself in nature.
Oh, I love that. And then what other, name some other, you guys have really unique events. So name some other events you guys have done in the past.
Oh, yes.
Are there any
Mm,
other events, the ones you guys have done like earlier this year?
um, um, do you mean examples of other events before COVID?
Yeah, before
Sorry,
COVID.
I'm
Yeah,
lost.
before.
We made musical festivals. We made a tango school. We are with my wife and my partner. We are all leaders of tango school. It was scientific and creative festivals, and we made very many dish food, soul food festivals for locals and for guests from the cities. And I think our main idea is landscape meditations and traveling. It's a food, very cool food, and education. With these three things, we combine and mix, and every time it's happens something very completely new.
Nice. And then the festival, like how many people did you guys have attend that roughly?
We are trying not to be more than 500 people more in one place, because it's too complicated to have a good atmosphere in our place, and very many people for us. But maybe, I think maybe one day we'll make more.
That is beautiful. 500 people is a lot of people. That's a
Yeah.
lot. That's amazing. I mean, I'm trying to think of any, I've been to so many co-living events, and at one property there was like 200, 250 at like a launch party for brand new co-living community in Hollywood. And I've never been to an event that amount of people. So that's great. I love that. And then I love that you guys bring city people in to see what you guys are building, how you operate, because it gives even more exposure for what you guys are doing in such a rural area. And so let's see, you guys all live on site, which I know you and your wife and your kids, so that's great. And then what's your favorite part about running your co-living community?
Every resident of Coliving is a projection of our habits, of our thoughts, and to understand on every week gathering and talking about what we found in each other during this week, to understand that your joy, or maybe your conflict with other men, it was something very brilliant from your, for example, childhood, or from connecting with your parents, or with your co-workers in corporate, and so on. So we live in everyday Hellinger's space. You can't avoid it. You can't avoid another people, because they are different. They are not your blood family, but they are today, now, they are right here with you, and you should understand why they here, why are you here, and you should go with them to very straight and very powerful connection, and to understand something new about you, and to transform this.
That's awesome. And then what's the future for your guys' community? What do you see in the future?
We want to make a network of such places, but not big. We want to make a unicorn. It's not about business. It's about a community of people who want to change the world. But before this, they want to change themselves. And we understand that we can make a network about 7 or 10 points of such places like Melnica space, and we like this idea for next 10 or 15 years.
I love how Russia's evolving. How you guys have just, I mean, that's so exciting. I know we talked about before the interview. I just spent time with somebody. She just moved here, from Moscow a couple years ago into the States, and she was telling me stories about her childhood. When the Soviet Union was there, and it was just unbelievable. And I love that you guys now are just kind of making your own way and transformation, and that's exciting to see. I love that. That's amazing. The
Thank you.
now yeah, so you guys have a farm. So I'm guessing, is all your food 100% coming from your own farm?
No, actually, we don't have our farm. We tried to start, but we understood that if we will combine mixed farm and co-living, there will be only farm. And we work with our friends, farmers outside, and about 90%. 90% of our food is our local farmers
Mm.
bring to our table, and we help them, as I said before, to sell it to the city. And I think that it's very important to make something that you do really good, but because we are not good farmers, and it's better for us to work with community to help them find new friends and buyers.
Yeah, growing community versus growing vegetables. Okay, you're right. They're
Yeah,
two different
yeah.
things.
Growing people and growing vegetables, it's other one.
Two different things. Okay, so let's definitely talk about COVID. What else kind of changed? What did you guys do there? I mean, lucky for you, you guys were in a rural area. Did you guys have more people coming in? Did anybody have to leave? What ended up happening?
In first days, yes, very many people from Moscow told, "Oh, we want to come to you and we want to hide," but it's not. It wasn't interesting for us because we inviting people not for hiding, but for working for their personality and for with their work, and uh, we. Uh, we closed for a while and started to think what to do after this, and we uh, made some new business that called relocation. Relocatio. It's our name of this startup, because people wanted to leave cities, big cities, and wanted to find new nature, rural places. It's not to move to Melnice, it's to move somewhere where somebody is waiting for you, where is a local community, where is infrastructure, internet, school, and so on. And we know a bunch of these places in Russia and some places outside Russia. And we began to consult people and teams how to relocate to rural areas. And it happens that we are first worldwide world world service that is about relocation to rural areas, not to London, not to Amsterdam, but to the nature friendly places. And it happened very interesting and very successful service. We opened a school of relocation, and it was the present from COVID, I think.
Got it. And then when you guys say you closed during the beginning of COVID, did the people that were living there already, did they stay or they had to move out and it was just your family left?
We stayed, we and our family, our team, our residents, we stayed.
Mhm.
We didn't close it for those who already had been here. It was our position.
Good. Okay, good. That's what I thought. I just wanted to make sure. So let's see. The last question I have, Sergey, and thanks again for coming on. We haven't had anybody on from Russia now that I think about it. So thank you for coming on. The last question is, where do you see co-living in the next 10 years? So like the year 2030, like as an industry.
I think that Coliving will be a next big thing for market for humanity, and I hope that in next 20 years, every 20th building in the city, in the world will be Coliving. I hope, and I want to this will come true. And I think that Coliving and the oldest style of people connection and co-living will bring again to our life all these wonderful things that we have here. I think it's next big thing. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your fun, for your energy, for your beautifulness, and stay being so bright and so powerful and the beautiful woman. I'm happy to be here today with you. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for checking out today's episode. If you want to learn more about co-living, you could check out my book on Amazon, The Co-Living Code. And of course, if you're looking for the perfect software to power your co-living concept, check out kindred.io, KNDRD.io. And again, a quick thank you to Matterport, our partner. With a 3D virtual tour, it is possible to fill your vacancies up to 30% faster.